to empower the AI and data applications. So what that really means over the 10 years is that the company's been doing indexing with a lot of different data sets. And that's why there's a lot of different types of regulatory customers and obviously types of different documentations that we have building up throughout the years. And obviously we work with a lot across different manufacturing, compliance, food manufacturing, and we start working with quite a few FSI companies as well in terms of from a pilot perspective. So in one sentence, what we really solve is oceans of messy data, and we have ability to pinpoint, contextualize, and index and synthesize all of your data sets to be AI and compliance ready. So essentially, if you think about a lot of companies out there, they're saying they're merging all the data sets. But what we are able to do is actually able to act as an expert level of understanding deep into your data set and then providing the output of what, of what the companies are desired to do with the data set. So why this matters, right? So we've seen a lot of organizations, whenever they need to build the new initiatives in terms of AI or data, they really have to, making sure that, to be, having regulatory pressures, they're having a load of the data. And what we're seeing is that they need to spend 2 to 3 months just to clean up the data, right? They need to do the preparations, because a lot of times right now, the problem is really not about the AI tools. Is actually about having the clear understanding of the information and obviously to be aligned with the regulations that they are playing against with. So one of the key things that we are solving is that we have AI engines that parse through a lot of information. And what is really stated here is that a lot of the companies that we've working today, that they essentially the right tool sets that they have today, from Copilot, ChatGPT, they fail to understand the complexity of understanding the information. So we're providing that knowledge layer, essentially providing them an easy access to that information so they could actually build high quality information and high quality products out of this data set. And essentially it's very simple, right? If you're taking from the left to right, from all the different data sources they have, it doesn't matter where the data, and then merge with the different compliance informations, and then go through a product that of our own is an Axion, which is ingest the data. It goes through parse through up to 68 different languages. Essentially, we built out the mapping, synthesized version, and contextualized different chunking. And then you have different, and then output is really about the use cases that allows you to build that different reporting, regulatory reporting agents, or a lot of customers actually building a ChatGPT-like on top, which they could ask questions regularly. And one of those key things that what we really differentiate is really about precisions, because the accuracy that we provide is up to 96%. So we have customers that doing like a live agent of like a chatbot support. We could actually, you talk about thousands of different transactions per day. We could add close to 96% accuracy. If you ever built any agent or agentic workflow, that's a very high accuracy numbers. And this is something that we're really proud of. So essentially what we play, this is just a visual way. We empower also the capabilities of information workers. So whoever's dealing with compliance, right? We're enabling them to establish this kind of AI knowledge foundations, allow them to actually build up the right, capabilities that they're looking for. And it's just something very visually just representing tations. But one of the key takeaways that we have 50 plus different connectors of different type of data sources. Could be on premise. We could deploy our software on premise, could be in a cloud, or even a PDF, that doesn't matter. And then we do our agentic understanding of the information. Then we will also providing a kind of human in the loop, right? So think about it like a chatbot internally that allows them to manipulate, hey, is this really the right way? Because we do the initial understanding of the information, but we also have that human in the loop. But human in the loop is not actually the majority of the component. It's actually just one component to course correct. Then obviously you have different output that you could build based on that information. And here's just an example across different industries. And one of the great examples is we actually work with FDA, US FDA, of tracking compliances in terms of regulatory. Simply put, they need to do the matching against the MDRA of the medical regulatory ontology based on what they're trying to roll out as far as a drug. We're talking about over hundreds of thousands of different documents. We're able to save them at least over 100K in terms of documents, and they were using about 1 hour per document. And we have our engines exactly helping to parse through the informations, allow them to flag through the likelihood of not compliance based on those information. Simply put, as I mentioned, we are obviously ISO compliances. We have flexibility deployed in any type of environments based on the customer's needs, and it's fully integrated across API call and architectures based on the customers, and the customers has a full access control of the information that of the input and output that they're looking for. And what we really focusing on in terms of the engagement is really a 4 to 8 weeks engagement. But one of the key things what we do, if you don't trust it, we actually could do a out of the box informations that we could actually parse through the informations for you for free, which allows you to see what is actually our system could do with the information. So you could actually see proof before you actually invest with a 4 to 8 weeks type of engagement for POC. Sayab?
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Steven. Slightly a bit over time, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. I think that the storyline is very good overall, so I can follow that. Just a quick suggestion, maybe you can cut a few slides. And then it would be easier to stay on time. So for instance, when you talk about the certifications, I would skip that part. Or when you talk about the traction, you can focus on the story that you said, like the case study, which is like very interesting to see how you work in practice, but there is no need to cover like all the rest. Especially because like ultimately the part which matters the most is traction and then the proposal for Zurich. And if you are over time, you risk to like rush in this final part, which is then the most important. So it's a bit of a risk for you. So yeah, like it's of course better to have like too much content than too little. So it's just a matter of cutting now, not of creating new parts. But yes, that's my only feedback, and I'm gonna leave the floor to Zurich. Yes, Fabian.
Super quick one from me, which is a bit what you just mentioned on the use case, because seems like you come across doing almost everything, or at least a lot of things. But maybe you could share to this group for today at least, and then we can deep dive on Thursday. But I would be happy to hear a bit more, one of your top 2 best use cases doing all the things you presented here, which seems a lot, but it would be good to have 1 or 2 best use cases, please.
Got it. So yeah, the key use cases is really about parsing through lots of kind of the documentation. Essentially is like, for example, one of the manufacturing customers is ArcelorMittal, is one of the top 3 steel manufacturing. So essentially they have a lot of intellectual property that's being parsed through along with compliance documentations. You talk about over at least thousands of different type of use cases. Essentially is what our engine does is actually looking through the specific formula, extract those informations in a way that is obviously consumable, and merge that with the compliance information. So essentially what they do is that they're actually using this information to help them to understand the competitive nature. So then the next time they roll out the next hundreds of millions different steel manufacturing product, that they actually have the competitive edge and along with the right compliance based on what they're rolling out as a product. So that's one of the use cases that we have. Hope that makes sense. So it's essentially,
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Anything else? Maybe Steven, do you have any questions from on your side, like for Zurich?
So yeah, I think it's same grain as the kind of the decision making, right? It sounds like the speed, the integrations, that's one of them. Are there any other? I'm just curious, like any other thing that matter, like price or anything like that, or that's Is there any other components that you guys would consider, based on, any kind of commercial related type of matter? Perhaps that's the right way to ask the question. That could be part of the decision making as well.
Yeah, I think the pricing from my end, and then my colleagues can step in, but I think from my end, the pricing is always an important element. And then you have different ways of dealing with us, right? We see vendors with licenses per user, per module, or per part of services delivered. So that I think we will have to deep dive a bit more maybe on Thursday, because all of you probably have different bidding processes in place. So
Yes.
that's probably something that we will have to deep dive on Thursday.
Got it.
Maybe what I can add to that is, because most of the cases are working with data, it's obviously very important that you have a robust governance yourself in a way. How do you manage data and how strong you are as a startups, because you will then potentially, or maybe not potentially, get access to some of the data. So it's important also that you have a robust security measures and data measures and so on.
Makes sense. So then on that front, then we should prepare like a pricing model, so to speak, to prepare for Thursday. That's basically it. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Steven. And last but not least, we have Turing College, Lucas. But actually, I cannot see him anymore here. So yes, I think we are done for today. Just a couple final remarks